Hey, what's up guys? It's Nasar, aka the Real Estate Doru. I'm not a guru, I'm a Doru because I actually do this business. And today we're going to talk about how to buy pre-foreclosures. I did a video already that I try to link below. It was basically, how to find pre-foreclosure leads with Doru data. You guys not familiar with Doru data, you can find the leads. How do you wholesale a pre-foreclosure? Okay, I will say that this will require some level of experience. It's not necessarily for a beginner because you have to be able to move fast on these things, okay? Depending on your state, the foreclosures may differ, right? Here, we'll have the auction here, but they have what's called the upset bid period, which is a 10-day period, which your bid, right, whatever the winning bid is, has to stay good for 10 days. 10th day at 5 o'clock, then you win. I don't necessarily have to go down there at the auction, right? And then, it just keeps resetting with the 10 days. But some states have a redemption period, whereas the owner can pay off, everything in this redemption period after the foreclosure sale. So you have, every state is different. In some states at the auction, you just straight up, when it's time to foreclose, it sells, and that's that. Before we get into the video, let me hit you with this intro. See you on the other side. Now, depending on how your state works, okay? This is extremely important, guys, with a pre-foreclosure. I need for you to know how your state works. Does the owner have a redemption period after the sale? At the sale, does that mean that the end buyer, he owns it, it's his, there's the money due that day at 5 o'clock? Because in North Carolina, the money is not due the day that you win. You have 30 days to get that money in. It's different state by state on how this thing works, man. So find out how your state works. I'm gonna use my state, North Carolina, as an example though, right? So let's say I get a good lead, right? The person is in pre-foreclosure. I go knock on the door, I call them, whatever. I'm in front of them now, right? I'm talking to them and I'm saying, hey, look, I know there's a legal issue. Let's see if I can put money in your pocket before you lose everything. And you can get a paid off house on your credit. You can get money to maybe go on to your next move in his life. And you won't have a foreclosure in your record to settle. Let's say the seller's willing to play ball. A lot of them are not. They be in denial, but let's say they're willing to play ball. Let's say the house is worth $300,000. The mortgage on their house is for $100,000. They're like, man, if you can get me $165,000, this house is yours. You know that you can sell this house all day for $190,000, right? You're like, well, okay. You will then sign a contract like you normally do, right? You have to be able to move fast. You have to have a buyer that is ready to close fast to beat the auction. You have to be able to look to see, is the auction currently going on, or there's a scheduled date for that auction. So that way you know how much time you're working with. All right. Also, what I do is I ask, hey, what's the last letter the mortgage company sent you, right? Normally, since they owe people money, they're not checking mail, but sometimes they'll have it and you open it up and you'll find out you get an estimate. It's not going to be a payoff because once it goes to pre-foreclosure, the payoff is going to be different because there's attorney fees and all that associated. Them taking it down to your municipality to proceed with the foreclosure. So please keep that in mind, that price piece of paper, that's just an estimate. That's not, nothing in stone. The only difference is you need to be able to move fast. That's the only difference. Now, once somebody is bidding on the property downtown, they will not allow the owner to catch up on payments, so you probably can't do a subject to at that particular point. They just want to get paid off. So this means to you is the only difference, you just have to be able to move fast. Because you don't need to be getting that seller hopes up, stating that you can get this done. It goes from pre-foreclosure to foreclosure because the auction is over because you couldn't get it done. The only difference is you just have to be able to move fast with, all right, the buyer's lined up. I got my title company already. They're going to start the search. Depending on, sometimes the mortgage company might not have the payoff. You might have to go to the local attorney who does your municipality foreclosure. But this is stuff that your title company or attorney should know. But believe it or not, some of them don't know. So that's when you have to go call down there and say, hey, I need this payoff. I'm with this attorney firm and I need to get this in ASAP so that we can pay this off. All right, that I've had to do that before, because at the end of the day, you're just another file to those guys working down there. What's so important about your file? You're just another file. You're doing your contract, you're at 165. Let's say you assign it for 190, right? You just have to have a serious buyer. Make sure you get, $3,000 to $5,000 non-refundable deposit, and he just has to be ready to close ASAP. Payoff could take longer depending on who has it, right? The mortgage company could have it, or the attorney. So you and the seller can do a three-way call with the mortgage company and say, hey, look, my seller's here, we're trying to get the payoff. How long would that take? And they'll tell you their policy procedure. Some mortgage companies will send it that day. Some will say, hey, all right, 3 to 5 business days. Some will say, even in 2021, we'll send it in the mail. What? Like, you send it in the mail? What, all this technology, you're gonna send me a payoff in the mail? So 7 to 10 days. Like, I've heard it all. It's like, what? Like, this is no, just email it over or fax this thing over to the attorney's office. Like, what's so hard about that? We're trying to give you your money that we owe you. It's those things that you will have to do. Remember, you're a transactional engineer. Sometimes it's going to be a lot more than just pushing a piece of paper. You're going to have to pick up the phone. You're going to have to get involved in these transactions. And the most important piece to this is just having a buyer that's ready to go to beat the foreclosure downtown. That's basically it. That's the difference with, how to wholesale pre-foreclosures, man. Not much of a difference. I just think that you should have a little bit more experience to the newbie or a beginner. The reason being, you have to know that this is a good deal and know some buyers who are ready to close so that you can move extremely fast. That's my take on it, guys. To get my free ebook, go to freenasbook.com, right? It's free. It's yours, right? So make sure you download that joint. I'll see you in the next vid. Follow me on Instagram, IG RealEstate Doru.